that's sort of like the business clients that you have. I
Yeah.
just wanted to delve a little bit about, who's a perfect coach? I mean, in your world, if you're selling this, become a coach with my system.
Mhm.
What's the perfect coach look like? Tell us.
Yeah, so they've got to be able to listen properly. They've got to leave their ego at the door, and they've got to be able to ask great questions. So those are three core foundational things. Thereafter, they've got to be really interested in people and business. I mean, properly interested and passionate about it. And that will probably have come from, I don't know, 10 to 15 years minimum in business of some kind. I don't mind whether they come from a corporate background, an SME background, they've built and exited their own thing. We get all those types coming in. But they've got to have that humility, patience, and ability to listen to be a really good coach.
Okay. So what university degree do I have to be a coach?
God, none.
None.
No.
But I've just spent 55,000 quid on my ballet and fine art business and business and got a 2-1. Surely that makes me the perfect coach.
No. No. Do you know, I'm going to tell you something interesting, Carl. I've just been doing a little bit of business development in business schools across the UK. And I've been looking at the heads of the business schools, the heads of the MBA. Not one of them that I came across has ever built their own business and exited it.
That's a really interesting point that you raised there, because in the circles that I operate in, we talk about this very regularly. We talk about the slow lane, the pavement, and we talk about the fast lane, which is, you can look on reference to this, MJ DeMarco. And many people who are in positions of power actually are still slow laning or pavement laning themselves into oblivion. So they're looking at getting wealth by the time they're 65, 80 years old. Because they invest in a pension, they invest in their savings because that's what they're told to do. But they've never actually ventured out and taken a risk.
Nope. Most people don't like it. It's really uncomfortable for them. We call it a leap of faith, hanging out in the unknown. And you and I are really good at that. I'm used to that. I've been doing it for donkey's years. It's kind of my natural state. Um, but the vast majority of people like the illusion, and it is an illusion of security, in
Mm-hmm.
inverted commas, of
Yep.
the magic money that appears in their bank account once a month.
Yep.
And I call it magic money because you've not actually, unless you're in an SME, if you're in a corporate, you've not actually done anything to produce that money that appears in your bank account. You've worked, you've exchanged time, your labor for that cash, but you've not been at the sharp end of either generally making the product or selling the product or service. Very few have. I think when you step away from that, first of all, a lot of people don't think you can step away from it. They don't think there's a world beyond that. We know there is, and it's a happier, lovelier world to be in. But they just, am I allowed to swear, Carl?
Absolutely.
Okay, they're basically just shit scared
Yeah.
of losing the house and ending up in a sleeping bag in a doorway. That's their fear.